Alright guys, welcome back to Smoked and Loaded. I'm going to be breaking down some pork spare ribs for you guys and getting them out on the smoker and showing you my process from the beginning to the end of how I smoke spare ribs. Alright, let's get into breaking down these spare ribs. Got these from Costco. Alright, so what we're going to do first is you want to cut off this kind of little bit of a flap that's on these. Most of the ribs come with this on this. You have to cut them off. We're going to remove that. I know a lot of people keep this and make stuff with it. I'm just going to throw it away. I don't really care about cooking that. And then we're going to want to cut off this end section right here that has this big old bone in it. So what I normally do is I kind of come to the very end, right here on this side. I'm going to cut straight across and cut into the cartilage and everything that's on here. So just start going. Usually just use a big knife. Once you start going, it makes it just a little bit easier. Just like that. Fix it a little bit. On this end, and I will keep this because I like to make this into kind of like a burn ends, but we're just doing that. So I'll keep that. This piece, we'll keep some of it. That all trimmed up and off. Keep that, throw away that big thicker piece with the bone. And then for these, a lot of people, if you want to make them look like the competition, you want to square them up a little to make them as pretty as possible. It doesn't matter. It's up to you guys if you want to make them look pretty. So that's what they kind of look like, cut up, somewhat pretty looking. I can square that in, but I don't. And then to get the membrane off, I usually just use a butter knife, and you're gonna just come over here on one of these ends, slide it underneath right here. If I can get it today, slide it underneath like that. As you can see, hold it up. Grab a paper towel. That's the easiest way to do this. I'm gonna grab that spot that I pulled up just a second ago. We're just gonna pull. Should just come up pretty easy. Use a little force behind it, but and it may break. If it breaks, it's okay. Got that done. Got this little piece right here. We're gonna remove that spot. All right. That's that. Now we'll do the mustard and then the seasoning. Usually take off one glove. I'll do these pieces as well. A lot of people use yellow mustard, just plain whatever mustard. I actually like to use the Dijon mustard from Kroger. I don't know why. I've just been doing that ever since I started smoking ribs. Even using on pork butts too, but I like to use the Dijon. You're not going to taste it, but I feel like it makes it a little different than using just plain basic mustard. So we're going to get that mustard up. Using my favorite Cosmo Q Dirty Bird, favorite one. So get that seasoned up. All right, and then I'm gonna do a nice little flip. And we're gonna mustard the other side. Mustard this side. Everything. We're gonna get this seasoned up. Alright, there we go. And now we're gonna let this sweat fence in. They're sweating pretty good. We're gonna get them out onto the smoker at 220. Alright guys, we're gonna get these on the smoker. Smoker's at about 200. I have it clocked to go to 220, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on. Just get them started. So one thing that I don't feel like a lot of the bigger name guys out there like to tell you, this is just my preference, is my smoker runs different temperatures on different spots on it, and I think that's common in a lot of smokers. I usually start mine on the cooler side, and I'm gonna let them sit for about an hour and 15 minutes over here in the corner, and then I'm gonna flip them, and then every 45 minutes I'm gonna spritz them. So let's get them on, and we'll come back in an hour 15 and flip them, and then in 45 we'll spray them. All right guys, we're 45 minutes in on the cook, and so we're gonna give it a spritz. I use apple cider vinegar mixed with apple juice is what I like to use. So we'll be back at the hour 15 mark, and we'll turn them. Hour and 15. So we're gonna turn this, and then we'll go back to doing the 45 to spray and an hour 15 to do it. I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. So when we get up to temp and I pull it to go wrap it in aluminum foil is where we'll start this video. A few little things I wanna just notate is I always am checking the temps regardless behind the scenes when I'm doing this, because depending on the size of the ribs can dictate the temperature. So they may get done sooner than the hour and 15 marks that I'm doing when I'm checking. Just be aware that I am checking in between. So let's get it flipped. Alright guys, welcome back. They hit about 170 a few minutes ago. The ribs as well as the little burn ends, so we're going to be pulling those off. Burn end pieces are looking real good. Get those put in a container, and then the rack of ribs is looking really good also. So let's get these wrapped and back on. So we're back in the house. Gonna wrap the ribs. So I usually do about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter for the ribs. We're gonna cut those up and lay those out. And then we're gonna add some honey, followed by the seasoning that was put on the ribs. Then we're gonna get these bad boys wrapped up. I'm using hot honey this time around to just add a little extra spice. So these are gonna be my spicy ribs. Got that there. And then a little bit of the seasoning. I'll use 2 sheets of aluminum foil when I do this. And we're gonna put the ribs face down. Make sure that they're nice and tight. And then back out onto the smoker face down. All right guys, off the smoker, hit the 198 kind of mark. We'll take these suckers out, see what they're looking like. Oh yeah, look good on the side. Oh yeah, looking good. Suckers are hot. I should have put some gloves on, but I did not. That's my own fault. So, we're all there. Paper towels real quick. Get them sauced up. So this is my sauce. I mix a couple sauces together and add a few other things, but it's a nice good little red. They're spicy ribs, like I was saying. So they are going to be a little spicy. So get these lathered up pretty good and back out on the smoker. Let them sit for a little bit, and then I'll re-sauce them again on the smoker also. I like mine nice and saucy. It's all right. Get those back on the smoker, and I'll show you guys the end product. All right, guys, we're back in. Here's the finished product.